got me an adapter here. Probably up that way. So you know what? I think I probably want those facing the same way. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and attach the other side of this hose. Okay, looks like I've got a pretty good angle on it. That hose, so I just need to bolt things back up because I want it to run at an angle. I want it to run downhill because it needs to drain properly. I can actually get my hand down in there. Now I know it's not bolted, but I can get my hand down in there and I can reach that valve. And what I'm going to do now, of course, that length of hose is way too long, so we're going to trim that up. Probably cut it right about 4 to 6 inches and then just cut it, and that'll give me enough to put a can under it or something. Alright, so I've got the hose hooked up. It is run over to the driver's side. Just visible right there. I don't know, I say right there, but so right there's the hose. And then there it is coming out of the inner liner, wheel well liner, secured with a zip tie, and then comes down here and secured one last time. And of course it's behind the front sway bar, so that the tire's not going to hit it. It's, it's against the metal inside there. The tire's not going to hit it or anything, so it's very secure, and that gives me plenty of room to drain the oil, and even if I have to pull it up out of that bottom right there, I can put a new zip tie there or put the hose back if that stays secure, and just drain it from right there. So that's all done for here. Alright, that looked like just a little bit of oil in that turbo, didn't it? I don't see anything in that one. So a follow-up to the Z1 catch can. All right, so the Z1 catch can has been installed, and so far I have checked this thing. I've got over 7,000 miles, I think about 7,400 miles on the car so far. I've not gotten anything out of this can. Concerned that maybe something wasn't draining properly in the valve, that maybe I'd installed it wrong or something like that. I actually removed the can, checked the line, checked the valve, everything's good to go. So I don't know, maybe it's just this side of the system. Maybe it just doesn't pull the oil. It doesn't have the amount of blow-by that the passenger side does. I don't know. I will say that even though this was one of the first modifications that I installed, when I put the intakes on, I don't recall seeing any oil in this turbo on the driver's side. But I just remember not really thinking much of it. But on this side, I remember specifically that there was oil pulled on the passenger side turbo, and I thought, I really have to get a catch can installed on this side. So whether this is an issue where the driver's side just isn't as problematic, but again, there's not been anything collected. It's very little, it's residual. It's not even anything to drain. Over here, now I don't know how many of you are familiar with the ADD brand, but they, I think, they designed, I think, in my opinion, one of the best designed cans I've seen. It's small, it's compact, it's functional, and it's so user-friendly because it's you can completely disassemble it. It has a diffuser on the inside. You can easily remove that, and you can put mesh inside that to help catch those water vapor, oil vapor droplets, and collect that so it drops into the can and doesn't just get pulled through the can. And then it's also got this little dipstick here to check. Now, I know this says Osias or whatever this is. Well, ADD, their version, they stopped making it, or at least last time I checked, they had stopped making this version. And then once they stopped making it, it's like the Amazon and eBay exploded with these knockoffs. I went with, these are probably larger than I should have got. That was my mistake when I ordered them. I meant to go with something similar to the Z1 sized banjo flanges, but I got these. I went ahead and went with them and utilized some factory lines. I did end up cutting, just to make things work, the factory hose here to make it fit on the valve cover, and then tied it together. I tried to still use some Nissan lines that I have extra laying around. So got that all tied together, ran the line down to the turbo, the intake that connects to the turbo. So ran it down here. The bracket here, I did trim to accommodate that hose a little better so it wasn't pushing on it. And I know that this is run over top of the intake box, and that is not ideal. I don't like that. I do wish it wasn't that way, but it's one of those things where right now I was just trying to get it installed to figure out the best way to do that, and this is what worked for clearance and everything. So I'm gonna leave this running through here for right now. And then the mount, the bracket, was just a bracket, an aluminum bracket that I had laying around that I was able to modify. And I trimmed it a little bit to try to clean it up, because as you can tell, it's not specific for this application, but it works. It's functional, and I mean, it's in there. It's not moving around. So no codes, no leaks, everything's good to go. And if I needed to check the oil level in there, it's not been on there long enough or anything, I can just unscrew this dipstick, pull it up, and it'll tell me what the oil level is on there. So there's my two catch cans, and I think this was maybe 25, 30 bucks. Even these knockoffs have went up in price. Maybe it was 35. You know, the original ADD unit was, I think, like 80, and I've got two of them. I'm still running those on other vehicles. But there's the two catch cans. I prefer this much more than like the Z1, where you don't have any ability to check the oil level. To me, that's not very user-friendly. Took me a while, I think, to get the routing set up. Here I did have to use a short section to tie into that lower hose that runs down to the intake pipe connected to the turbo. That just really helped give me the angle and everything that I needed for everything to be out of the way of the belts and the pulleys, and I think to not be pressing up against the coolant hose. Now I do know, this does set pretty tight against the hose, but it's got this mesh here for protection. So it is a tight squeeze. So it's only so far over you can go. But yeah, once that expands a little bit, it does put a little bit of pressure on there, but that's okay. So, as long as, these are tied together as part of the engine, it's not like one's moving, vibrating and rubbing against the other because it's stationary, mounted to the body or to the frame or something. It's all together. So I'm not concerned about anything rubbing through or any kind of premature wear, but certainly something I'll keep an eye on. And I know that install is probably not for everybody. Have any questions, comments, post them below. Thanks for watching.